The world's most compact jump starter with air compressor. We're going to compare that in just a minute. But this is the latest jump starter from our friends at Lokithor. It's the JP400. It's 12-volt lithium, 2500 peak cranking amps for 8.5 liter gas engines or 6.5 liter diesels. I definitely don't have anything that large to test it out on, but you know, we are going to test it out. It's spark proof, reverse polarity protection. The 150 psi air inflator is good for balls, bicycles, motorcycles, vehicle emergency air inflation. You can also use it as a power bank, that's always handy. And it has a 300 lumen light. Let's get this thing open and see what she looks like. Lokithor, the force of thunder in hand. We'll take a look at the instructions in a minute. Yeah, here's the unit itself. It does look pretty compact, don't it? Comes with a little baggie to keep things in, that's handy. Here's the jump clamps. And the clamps are just a connector. They don't have the little switch you do. I'm guessing that's built into this thing. Like some jump starters, they have the protection switch thingy built into the clamps. But here it's just in here, which actually that's kind of nice. Here's a little air inflator doohickey. And you can see that just screws into there like that. And your jumper clamps plug into that. Yeah, that's kind of all there is to this guy. Comes with a USB-C charging cable and a little accessory kit for your inflator. Now let's compare the size of this thing a little bit. Now this is another offering from Lokithor. I believe this one is a lot more amperage though. Oh no, it's not. I guess this one's only a peak of 1500 amps and this one's got a peak of 2500 amps. So this guy should actually output more than this one does. And as you can see, it's definitely a lot more compact than their previous unit. Now, this is another jump starter with an air compressor unit, and this guy did save my bacon in my trip to Colorado. But I've kind of used it quite a bit and it's starting to get worn out, but just do a size comparison with it. And you know what? These two seem kind of comparable. So yeah, I don't know if this is the most compact one, but it's one of the most compact. But again, like this thing, you know, it's not saying what the maximum amperage is out on this guy, but I think that amperage out on this thing was 1500, just like that other Lokithor one. So this one cranking out 2500 amps in this package, you know, that's actually pretty good. On the back here, you have a description of like the LED error codes. That's nice to have in case you lose the instructions, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at these instructions because there's something in here that I want to find that I think that every jump starter should have. Here's the specifications. It's kind of interesting. It has the cylinder size is 19 millimeter. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't think I've noticed any of the little portable air inflators to say that at all. All right, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Manual override button. To enable, push and hold for 3 seconds. Warning, disable safety protection and manually forces boost on. Only for when battery is too low to be detected. You know, this being able to force these things on is critical. Every single one of these guys should have that option. If you see a jumpstart pack that doesn't have that option, don't get it. Because I tell you, a lot of times, like, these things can't detect the battery correctly, your battery voltage is just too low, or you just need to give it that extra chooch, you know? You gotta throw these things into full power mode. Then you just press and hold this thing for a second, and it powers up. It shows you your battery level. I'll go ahead and charge this up all the way before we try it out. It shows you your inflator mode, and you just click this button here to switch from different modes. And then I guess this is just gonna be manual. It defaulted to bar, but you can hit this button again and it goes into PSI mode. And then you just hit the buttons in manual. I'll probably just use this thing in manual. No need to mess with whatever like the car mode is and bicycle mode. Yeah, I don't think so. Scooter mode, what is this? Whatever, manual mode, manual PSI. You can use these little plus and minus buttons to set whichever pressure you want it to stop at. And obviously with this thing connected up to your tire, you'd hit the pump button. You gotta hold it down for a second, but then it starts to pump away. And then when it reaches that pressure that you specified, it'd shut off. We'll try that out here in a bit. This is the light button. Hold it down for a second and the light comes on. Yeah, that's pretty darn bright. That's pretty good. Hold it down again and it goes off. But once it's on, if you hit it again, it goes into strobe, and then it goes into SOS mode. I guess that could be handy if you're all stuck on the side of the road or something. And then just do a long press to turn it off. Right here on the display, you can't really see them because they're not lit up, of course, but you have some fault indicators right here. You have the reverse polarity indicator, too hot indicator, too cold indicator, error indicator. They just want you to restart if the error is lit up. And what's interesting, it has a couple of indicators for your clamps too. If this thing detects like too much impedance on your clamps, it'll give you a warning. And that can happen if, you know, the terminals are too dirty or whatever, or if you actually have a problem with your clamps themselves. Ah, there we go. You press and hold the mode button until it clicks on, and then it's actually going to display the voltage of this guy. And this little green lightning bolt indicator is going to be lit up saying that this thing's got full power to it right now, and the little clamps are blinking. Another interesting thing to point out, you can see these two lights are yellow right here. That's because these aren't connected to anything. That's actually indicating that the impedance is high. You would hopefully want these to be green. But I think in the boost mode, it would go ahead and jump it anyway. And then when you're ready to power this thing off, you just press and hold the power button and she goes right off. Looks like the charge port is down here. The USB-C is going to be for charging this guy up, and then this USB-A is going to be if you want to use this as like a big battery pack and charge up other devices. But yeah, let's get this thing charged up and see how she does. Yeah, one thing I just noticed is that this bag that it comes with is really only for the accessories. This thing doesn't fit inside the bag itself. That's kind of crappy. Come on, Lokithor, you got to provide a bag or a case for all this to go in, you know? Like, just for a reference, this is that other generic one I showed you. It comes with a nice little case and all the stuff fits in up here. I really like to see Lokithor include something like this. Even though I'm sure this is a superior jump starter, it's just, you know, little things like having a good case for it makes all the difference in the world. I got some of these other little tool bag, you know, some sort of pencil case type deal that fits it just perfect. So I'm gonna use it instead. So this is kind of cool. I got it plugged in, charging up, and it actually shows you how many watts it's charging with. That's kind of neat. All right, I figured we'd try it out on my tractor here because as you can see, the battery in this thing is just completely flat. You can kind of hear something kind of grunting in there. Well, you probably can't hear it, but I can hear it. Let's get this thing hooked up regularly first and see if it'll go. And then, hey, there we go. Wow, it's only at 5 volts. That's freaking crazy. Okay, we'll try it out in regular mode first, and then we'll try a boost mode if that doesn't work. We have lights on the dash now, so that's a good sign. Hey, it worked just fine. We didn't need boost mode at all. That's actually really good. A lot of jump start packs can't handle like jumping this thing off without going into force mode or boost mode. Now let's try out that air compressor. So this tire over here on this side is always going flat on me. So I figured this would be a good test of the little air pump in here. Let's turn it back on, and then I'll set the PSI to 22. I can't remember what the actual pressure of this thing should be, but tractor tires, they run pretty low, so 22 ought to be good enough. Hold down the pump button and then it goes. It was kind of just starting off at 4 PSI, which is pretty low. And let's see how long it takes to get it to 22. All right, that's not too bad. I'll put the exact time on the screen, but I think that was like, what, like 3.5 minutes or something? This is a pretty big tire, you know, and I definitely wouldn't try it on the back tires. You might burn up this little pump in here, but you can see after jump starting it and pumping this tire up, it still has like 3 bars on the battery, so, you know, not too bad. I'll turn it back on just for another second because it looks like the pressure is already dropping again. Oh well, I can run with that. Oh, and definitely watch out for the connectors on these guys, like after the pump's been running, especially like down here, right here, this is like blazing hot. Don't touch that after the pump has been going. And that's pretty typical of all these little small air pumps. They just get like so freaking hot. So, you know, it did a great job on my tractor, and I came over here to use it on the little Barth here. And even though it's showing the battery voltage is 11.8, it's actually kind of struggling to turn it over. Oh, you know what? It's actually saying the resistance on the clamps is kind of not that great. There we go. I wiggled the clamps around and kind of just tried to put them in a better position, and now it's actually showing green on the clamps. So hopefully that'll start the battery better. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so this little feature right here that tells you if the clamps aren't on good enough, that's really handy to have. Because when these lights were yellow, the clamps weren't on there very good. Just wasn't getting the full chooch out of it. I think that's a feature that all these jump start packs should include. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, I'd have to say I'm pretty impressed with this thing, especially for its size and weight. I mean, this thing's really compact and it did the job. Didn't even have to go into boost mode to start the tractor, which is atypical. Most of them have to go into boost mode to do that. And it handled pumping up the tire just fine. This thing's definitely going in my emergency go kit. If you want to get one for yourself, there'll be a link down in the description below. Well, bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give a like.